Welcome to week 4 of Nursing 103, the medical terminology portion of nursing. Remember, this is just the 1-hour portion of 103, and it is for medical terminology. This week, we're going to go over Chapter 2 or PowerPoint 2. Which is the organization of the body. These medical terms are the same way you'll write out flashcards for these. You know, it's really important that you know the difference in all of these. Write out your flashcards and know the meaning of them. If you do that, it'll just be a tremendous help for you guys in the future to remember these terminologies. So chapter 2 or PowerPoint 2 is the organization of the body. Start with cells, which are individual units found in all parts of the human body, and then it goes to tissues. Similar cells grouped together to do a specific job. Then we go to organs, which are structures composed of several kinds of tissue. Systems are groups of organs working together to perform complex functions. Then we have our body systems. We have our circulatory system, which includes the heart, blood, and blood vessels such as arteries, veins, and capillaries. They transport blood, containing all types of blood cells throughout the body. We have our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system includes lymph vessels and nodes that carry a clear fluid called lymph. Lymph contains white blood cells, also called lymphocytes, that fight against disease and play an important role in immunity. Then we have our digestive system that brings food into the body and breaks it down so that it can enter the bloodstream. Foods that cannot be broken down is then removed from the body at the end of the system as waste. Organs in the digestive system include the mouth, stomach, and intestine. Endocrine system is composed of glands. They send chemical messengers called hormones into the blood to act on other glands and organs. Examples of endocrine glands are thyroid gland, adrenal gland, and pituitary gland. Female and male reproductive systems produce the cells that join to form the embryo, which develops in the uterus of the female. Male testes and female ovaries, sex organs, also produce hormones. We have the musculoskeletal system, which includes muscles, bones, joints, and connective tissues, supports the body and allows it to move. We have the nervous system. It carries electrical messages to and from the brain and the spinal cord. Respiratory system controls breathing, a process in which air enters and leaves the body. Organs of the respiratory system is your trachea or windpipe, bronchial tubes, and lungs. Skin and sense organ system. It includes the skin and eyes and ears, receives messages from the environment and sends them to the brain. Urinary system produces urine and sends it out of the body through the kidneys, ureters, bladders, and urethra. Then we have body cavities and organs. We have the cranial cavity that contains the brain and other organs, such as the pituitary gland. Thoracic cavity, also known as a chest cavity, is surrounded by the breastbone and ribs, the lungs, heart, windpipe, trachea, and bronchial tubes are included in the thoracic cavity. The pleura is a double membrane surrounding the lungs. The pleural cavity is the space between the pleural membranes. Mediastinum is a large area between the lungs, the heart, esophagus, trachea, and the bronchial tubes or organs within the mediastinum. Abdominal cavity. Organs in the abdomen include stomach, liver, gallbladder, and small and large intestines. Peritoneum. Membranes surrounding the organs in the abdomen. Pelvic cavity is surrounded by the pelvis, bones of the hip. The major organs located within the pelvic cavity are the urinary bladder, the ureters, urethra, rectum, and anus, and the uterus for females. Spinal cavity. This is a space surrounding the spinal column, includes the spinal column and nerves of the spinal cord. Divisions of the spinal column. You have the cervical or neck region, has 7 bones. Thoracic or chest region has 12. Lumbar, the loin or waist region, has 5. Sacral, also known as the sacrum or lower back region, has 5 fused bones. And the coccygeal, which is the coccyx or tailbone region, has 4 fused bones. And then we move on to the planes of the body. We have the frontal or coronal plane. That is a vertical plane, supposed to say plane, not place, that divides the body or body part, such as an organ, into front and back portions. Sagittal or lateral plane is a vertical plane that divides the body or organ into right and left sides. The mid-sagittal plane divides the body vertically into right and left halves. The transverse or axial plane is a horizontal plane that divides the body or organ into upper and lower portions as in a cross section. Think of cutting a loaf of French bread into circular sections. That would be your transverse or axial plane. Defining forms. Abdominal is abdomen. Abdominal is a medical term. Anterior is front. Anterior bronchial is bronchial tubes. Cervico is the neck of the body or the neck of the cervix of the uterus. Chondro is cartilage. Coccygeo is coccyx, tailbone. Cranio is skull. Epithelio is skin or surface tissue. Esophageo is esophagus. Hepato means liver. Laparo is abdomen. Laryngeo is larynx or voice box. Latero is side. Lumbo is loin or waist. Lympho is lymph, clear fluid in tissue spaces. Medius is the mediastinum, which is the space between the lungs. Pelvo is pelvis, bones of the hip. Peritoneo is your peritoneum, the membranes surrounding the abdomen. Pharyngea is pharynx or throat. Pleuro is pleura. Posterio is back or behind. Sacro is sacrum, which is the 5 fused bones in the lower back. And spino is the spine or backbone. Thoracico is your chest. Tracheo is a trachea or windpipe. Vertebra. Now remember this one. Vertebra is one backbone. Vertebrae is 2 or more. So vertebra is a backbone. Vertebrae is backbones. So here we have some and ovary. Space below the diaphragm is the abdomen. Pertaining to the chest is thoracic. Hip region is pelvis. Throat would be larynx. Windpipe would be trachea. A procedure necessary for brain surgery, craniotomy. And then here's just one for fun, matching terms with systems. Brain is the nervous system. The intestines go with the digestive system. Adrenal glands go with the endocrine system. And supports the body and helps move it would be the musculoskeletal system. Receives messages from the environment and sends them to the brain would be skin and sense organs. Carries electrical messages to and from the brain and the spinal cord is your nervous system. Moves air into and out of the body is your respiratory system. Takes food into the body and breaks it down to be absorbed into the bloodstream is your digestive system.